Now, who enjoys living in a fantasy land where you work at a hospital as a physician, trying to impress the elders? Doesn't really seem like the ideal life now, does it? But Scrubs, the American sitcom, had nearly 16 million viewers at its peak. Well, there's been a recent update for all of you Scrub fanatics that you're absolutely going to love. Like many popular sitcoms from the 2000s have received a reboot, resurrection, or at the very least a special reunion episode. So we're pretty confident that the all-time favorite show Scrubs will make the cut too. The reasoning behind this renewed interest in a Scrubs reboot is the recent reunion of the stars from the show because of their casting in the musical commercial for the T-Mobile Super Bowl commercial. The stars in question are Zach Braff, who played JD, an intern turned internal medicine doctor, and Donald Faison, who plays the part of Dr. Christopher Turk. The pair was seen singing a parody of the old 1957 West Side Story song, I Feel Pretty.
I feel happy. Great. Very happy. Good for you. Look how much money I'm saving.
The stylish duo just stole the night from the rest of the ads.
Big Cat, I need you.
No one can deny just how heartwarming it was to see the two together. Now that in itself is just enough to make a grown man shed tears of happiness.
Because you know anything that anyone's ever asked you ever, but I didn't ask you. I asked Joe.
But it doesn't end there. Not only did the duo reunite in a 30-second ad that made fans erupt in joy,
Ischemic bowel disease. I'm so sorry.
cheering and admiring the commercial for bringing the two together, with their only complaint being that it was too short. Some eagle-eyed watchers also noticed that the stars of the commercial, Braff and Faison, were both sporting their Scrubs uniforms in the advertisement. The question then arose, could they be hinting at something? Is this a hint from the former cast members that something new may as well be just around the corner? A surprise that Scrub fans would no doubt love more than just the reunion of the two former cast members in a commercial. Not so long ago, Zach Braff himself admitted to his desire to have an independent movie based on the idea in the show Dr. Acula.
Oh, you know what I did for the
In an interview with Looper, Braff made reference to a fantasy shared by JD and his friend Turk's character.
It's like all of a sudden this hospital's a police state.
Wait, next thing you know, they're gonna be charging doctors.
Every time a reporter asks, I always respond, my dream narrative is, you know how much they wanted to create their independent movie, Dr. Acula.
No, we're not two lamos with nothing going on.
So that's why.
My idea is that somehow they come into some money and they finally get the chance to fulfill their lifelong dream of being independent filmmakers and creating the Dr. Acula Dracula movie. After the indication of the Scrubs-themed musical commercial, there was a sudden hype of the idea that there indeed may be a chance of the commercial happening. The star of the show has further gone on to say, when asked by Comic Book Movie if there will be a revival of the sitcom, Zach Braff said, I think we might see it one day.
Temperature sensation on the contralateral side is consistent with which syndrome?
Well, we certainly most hope that happens, as he should hope so as well, for our sakes as well as his own. That is, unless he wants hundreds of protesters outside his house in the middle of the night,
35.
Hi, Mr. Tillman. You ready to go to work?
with pitchforks and torches demanding the Scrubs.
McConaughey is not a syndrome. He is, however, one of our finest working actors.
And trust me, I'm gonna be the one to lead the mob of fans if the occasion ever arises.
So, Pat, I understand that you have multiple sclerosis and you're interested in being put on interferons.
Along with this, as reported by TVN, Braff appeared alongside Scrubs creator Bill Lawrence at a Q&A panel for the Apple TV Plus series Shrinking. When he was asked whether Braff would reprise his lead role in a Scrubs reunion, he left that question up to Lawrence. He claimed that if he could figure it out, everyone else would say yes. Well, gang, I think it's time for us to hit those hashtags and plead with the cast for a chance at coming back together. While my Twitter fires up, why don't we shift the topic at hand of whether the reboot will actually ever happen to talk about why it ever even got canceled in the first place.
No.
All right, listen.
The show was losing interest in the eyes of its fans and viewers gradually after the end of the second season.
Let's take a walk, sunshine. And there was...
This included viewership decreasing from nearly 16 million in the second season, which was the show's peak in ratings, to nearly a mere 4 million by its ninth season. That's nearly 4 times the loss in viewership.
Since he was fired, I have to seem like I care. Think of the saddest...
You must be thinking, no wonder it got canceled after such a drastic drop in ratings. The production company obviously couldn't allow it.
It was nice to meet you, George.
Yes, it was.
Well, although it may be a part of the truth, it's not the only thing that got the once so adored show dropped by its production company. Scrubs was canceled at the end of the 2009 to 2010 TV season, bringing its ninth season to a close.
Fine, Turk, I'll tell George the truth. Even though I'm a man, I don't.
There are other explanations for why such a love show at its start received a cancellation order.
Even though I'm a man, I don't like beer. I prefer Appletinis.
Even though its network, ABC, could easily be held accountable.
Oh, come on. How is that even possible?
Scrubs had dismal ratings when it first debuted in 2001, yet it persisted. All of this was in fact made possible only due to its devoted fanbase and a production business that wanted to see the show last for a very long period. Good job, people!
Right on. Okay, nobody die! Nobody die!
However, Scrubs was in fact cancelled twice, despite having a flawless comedy pilot and a relatively impressive run. Then what the hell went wrong? Scrubs was terminated by NBC after its 7th season, but ABC reinstated it as a result of a production agreement. Like many other shows that year, Scrubs' 7th season was impacted by the Writers Guild of America strike in 2007 and 2008.
Interferon sounds like the name of a robot that always gets in the way.
Tough luck, Scrubs. The timing of the comeback was just off.
Harsh, but no one cared, because today we were meeting Dr. Kelso's replacement as chief of...
It had a second opportunity to be canceled because ABC picked up the show after NBC canceled it.
Stop confusing me by being...
Its second cancellation was actually very informal and on the down low. With the show star Zach Braff making the announcement on his Facebook page. Definitely not the proper way to announce such a heart-stopping news like that. Imagine scrolling through your feed, checking out memes, and suddenly, the lead actor of your favorite show announces the show is no more. I'm pretty sure I'd confuse it with a meme and find out that I had laughed at something that would make me cry later.
Gravy, Ed.
Cream spinach, yo!
No. Okay.
By the time Scrubs' 9th season rolled around, a significant portion of its original ensemble had either left or been demoted to guest star roles. While guests have always played a significant role in Scrubs, it indicated a change that would lead to the show's termination.
Why would George lie?
I have no idea.
So...
The reason behind so many of the cast members leaving the show was due to the shaky and unoriginal feel of the plot by the 9th season. Alas, it wasn't because of the low rating that led to the fall of The Great Scrubs. The director of The Scrubs had tried to end the show multiple times before it got canceled.
Not like a shed. Like a naughty...
Imagine how bad the show must be for the director to try and end the show so many times.
We didn't want George to feel like he was a burden, so we had to come up with a great excuse.
The cast had started to detach itself from the dying show and began to build careers away from it.
Fine! Why did you have to trip me?
Even though it's still considered very surprising that a sitcom like Scrubs even made it to the level it was at, it's still a shame to see the end of an era. One can just hope that the reboot takes place and pray that it still has the feel of the old Scrubs. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Family coming to visit you.
That's coming down on... Girl, for the first time, I always imagine her hair...